Louise's plan of attack was simple. Walk outside, pick up the ball, run back inside. As long as nothing jumped out at her and pinned her to the wall, she was sure there would be no issues. But there was something else. Something far more dangerous lurking on the outside world to prey on her. Not a predator, not a monster, but a smell. A smell that surpassed any she had ever experienced. The many years of scavenging had strengthened Louise with a fair amount of willpower. When out on the prowl for crumbs or serving her kids at the dinner table, she was pretty good at keeping her tongue in her mouth. But when it came to real food, the sort that was actually made to be eaten by someone, she was exposed for the glutton she truly was. Her nose had a mind of its own. At that moment, finding the source of the smell was all that mattered. All other thoughts were purged from her mind. She couldn't be shocked out of her mental state if her tail was shoved directly into an electrical socket. She had to know what it was. Following the smell with pinpoint accuracy, she made her way across the living room to the nearby door. The scent was coming straight through the vent that passed right across to the opposite room. In other words, it was coming from the kitchen. She couldn't map the scent to any food item she could name. Was it sour or sweet? Salty or spicy? She didn't know. But she had to know. The smell was too good to be true. She pushed her head through the large flap at the base of the door to see what mysteries awaited her. Louise was no stranger when it came to cats. She had seen lazy cats, mean cats, dumb cats, snooty cats, and even dog-like cats. Her strongest memory was at the old barn where she and her father once lived. There was one scrawny orange barn cat tasked to protect the silo from vermin. He was a pitiful creature, really. Frightened off by a simple poke to the hindquarters with her father's sword. Over time, Louise's father managed to train him to fetch the leftovers from the farmer's table and save him the trouble of scavenging. Louise saw the cat as a friendly companion, like a big teddy bear that brought her food. The creature on the other side of the door flap, though, was no teddy bear. Its appearance was so striking that it knocked Louise out of her trance. The beast was covered from head to tail in a forest of thick fur. Much of the forest was coated in a bright brown with white markings lighting up its cheeks, feet, belly, and tail tip. The white markings on its feet and tail were preceded by heavy patches of dark brown, resembling the broken shackles of an escaped prison convict. That same dark shade of brown formed long, jagged stripes that descended down her back and forehead, like scars obtained in the process of escaping said prison. Most intimidating of all, her side boasted a unique and unusual marking of the same dark color in the shape of a foreboding skull. As the cat turned around, Louise could see the same marking, miraculously, adorned both sides, making the creature equally intimidating no matter which way it was facing. The cat's fur was certainly off-putting, but what really struck Louise was how massive the beast was in size. While the vast amount of fluff obscured the creature's true size, this was definitely one fat cat. It made her old barn cat friend look like a large rat by comparison. Louise couldn't believe she had been living in the same house as something so enormous without knowing about it. In hindsight, she was feeling awfully glad that her family avoided the house's larger patrons. After taking in the sight, Louise's thoughts turned back to the smell. The cat was rather unceremoniously lapping up a bowl of milk on the kitchen floor. It was a familiar sight for Louise. The barn cat did it all the time. But where was the smell coming from? The aroma certainly wasn't coming from mere milk, and there didn't seem to be anyone else in the kitchen. But Louise's nose didn't lie. This was definitely the room it was coming from. Just then, Louise heard a loud ding. She instinctively ducked down, thinking the cat noticed her, or Morgan had come to drag her home. In actuality, it averted the cat's attention even further away from Louise. Louise watched intently as the cat made its way over to one of the large kitchen boxes she had always found too risky to mess with during her scavenging.